as our living rooms fill up with characters who do what we aren't allowed to: bust up, blow their tops, bang on, storm off. My own all-time favourite soap character was Meg Richardson of Crossroads, played by the great Noel Gordon. Surrounded by wimps and ciphers, she lit up the screen with her emotions, turning Crossroads Motel into a combination of Elsinore and La Scala. Yes, she could even sing. At Christmas, as her voice soared from the TV set and filled the living room, families all across the nation would assemble in the garden.
Oh, we need a little Christmas, like this very minute. Candles at the window, carols at the spinet. Yes, we need a little Christmas, right this very minute. We need a little Christmas now. Yes, we need a little Christmas now.
Crossroads Motel, can I help you? No, we're most definitely not closing down.
It ran for over 4,500 episodes and was the tea-time stalwart of British soap. But nearly 12 years after it was axed, Crossroads still lives on in the memory and the Essex home of one man.
It was about 17.5 million in its heyday, in its peak in the 70s, and then at the very end, even when they were taking it off, it was up to about 15, something like that. So it was still quite high. It was estimated there were over 20,000 actors and actresses went through it in its 24-year run. So it had a pretty popular time.
How does my hair look?
Oh, it looks lovely.
Peter has spent years acquiring Crossroads collectibles, especially relating to his favourite star, Noel Gordon, known affectionately as Nolly.
And here's really quite a bit of memorabilia from the programme. All sorts of things. It was a magazine they brought out when Nolly went, 1981, and various photographs taken of quite a lot with me in the old days with her. And that was a record that was brought out when Meg married Hugh Mortimer in 1975. Just the whole wedding service that happened, because it was done in Birmingham Cathedral, although that was never explained, how a motel owner would get married in a cathedral.
Margaret, do you acknowledge this man as your wedded husband, to live according to God's law in the holy estate of matrimony?
I do.
There's Nolly sitting at the bureau, which I've got in the hall, and that was Noel Gordon's personal bed, which I've got. It's actually in storage. That was taken when I first met Nolly at the studios at ATV, about 1975. Doesn't look like me, does it? I've got hair then. And the bureau is what was used in the programme right from the very beginning up till 1981, for 18 years.
Not only does he have the bureau, Peter is also the proud owner of the original Crossroads Motel sign. And for an avid Crossroads fan, what better way to spend the afternoon than reminiscing about the soap with one of its best-loved stars, Jane Rossington, who played Jill Richardson.
We used to do it as a show. We used to start with the first scene and end with the last scene. We used to stop in the middle for the commercial break. We used to do all quick changes happened. If you were on scene 1 on reception, being all smart, and in scene 3 you were next day
yes.
getting up, you had scene 2 to get changed in. You had 2 minutes 30 seconds, and you ran across the studio and you got into bed or whatever you did.
Oh my God! The motel! It's on fire! Mom! Ah! Hang on, Jill, come on.
Crossroads was the launch pad for a number of other soap careers too.
Stephen Pinner, now, because he was back in the 80s, and it was before Brookside, and there was a lovely bit. He was very friendly with the cat, with Benny.
Yes.
And there was a scene with a dog. He had this. Benny had this dog, and Stephen Pinner was running a little village shop, wasn't he, for a while?
He does love you, right?
No, I'm sorry, Benny. Not a dog.
If I take him to the dog's home and it's full up, then I'll have to bring him back again, won't I?
No!
Of course,
Johnny Briggs.
Johnny Briggs, who played,
Yes.
was it Johnny Layton, the car? He was car salesman, wasn't he, in
Yes.
Crossroads?
Or was it, did he run the garage or something? I can't quite remember. But he was
That's
with us for
very
about
early days.
2 years,
Yeah.
3 years.
Yes. Bob Monkhouse was in it.
But was he?
Yes,
I
Bob
mustn't be
Monkhouse did an
crossing
episode.
that.
Larry Grayson.
Oh,
Larry
I saw
Grayson drove
Larry,
the car for
Larry,
Nolly.
yes. I mean, looking back, it was chaotic, but oh, it was fun.
Coming up in part 3, we visit the school where the soap stars learn their craft.
Just